Hi everyone, it's Sharon here. And last week I got a bit of a nod from the universe to speak on a subject which is life is a gift. And I had the title, it kind of ran away from me. So it was a couple of days later where I remembered that I had this nudge from the universe to speak about it, but I didn't really know what the universe wanted me to say. So I took to my journal just to see what there was to be discussed, and it started off in a very Sharon manner, I would say, but then something else happened. And that's what I want to share with you today because I feel like it was a very beautiful gift of insight that I got, and that is what is most important to be shared. So I will read from my journal a bit later on directly because I can't really remember when I'm in that space of receiving. I can't always remember it verbatim. So I will be reading from my journal later. But I started on the subject of life is a gift, and I really do believe it. Like for the Sharon personality that you see in front of you, does really truly believe that life is a gift, no matter what the circumstances. We tend to get caught up in a judgment of how good our lives are or how bad our lives are. But life itself is a gift, and I'm aware of that already. You know, whenever somebody famous passes away, whether they be young or old, but especially if they're younger, I always say, turn to my husband and I say, life really is a gift, and old age is a privilege. So many don't make it that you really should not complain about old age or getting older and how the body changes, because it is a gift. And part of that gift is also how the body changes. We get a different experience of our bodies. First, we're a baby, then we're a teenager, then we're an adult, and then we're an older adult. And we have these different sensory experiences because of it. We have a different type of life because of it. And we always have this focus on young is better. And we forget that there is a real true gift in understanding and learning as we evolve and change, even in our bodies. So I already believed it on one level that life is a gift. And, you know, I teach gratitude in the membership. And what I don't like about people who teach gratitude, generally speaking, I don't think they truly understand it. And a lot of people use gratitude, which is a very human trait, use gratitude to feel better about themselves, but they don't really understand the true power of it, and they don't understand why it's powerful, why it kind of works as a process. And most people don't do gratitude in its full entirety to be the powerful force that it actually is. So I do have a gratitude for life that exists. And I think it is a very deep gratitude because when you go into gratitude in its entirety, you realize you are connected into the web of life, past, present, and future, and connected to all souls. And it's a very beautiful, beautiful thing. So, you know, when we talk about life as a gift, we tend to kind of see it in terms of um, you could see it in terms of a sensory playground that we've been given. We have all of our senses, and they have a lot of pleasure derived from them, and it's a playground of experience. I do like the metaphor of a playground. Um, and if you're a young soul and you're going through life, you only really care about having fun. You're not really too concerned about the consequences. But as you become an older soul and you go through many lifetimes, you start to recognize life is a gift of learning and growth as well, and evolution. So it is a gift, and that's where I started from. Um, and then I kind of moved into this inquiry also, not just as a sensory gift, but also the power of this gift that was given to us, meaning that in every moment, there is a potentiality for unlimited potential. It's like And how have we been given this gift is through free will. Free will meaning conscious choice. So, you know, no matter how hard life is, there is complete potentiality in the next moment to choose something different for yourselves. Now, normally, this is on an internal level first, and then it translates into the physical world. But just imagine the power of being able to create through your thoughts first, through feeling, through vibration, and then put that out into the world. It's quite special, all right? How can that not be a gift? The gift of free will, the gift of conscious choice, the gift of pure potentiality in every moment. So, these things I think we take for granted. We never really go back after we've learnt a thought, how to think, and for ourselves. We don't really go back and think, oh, even being able to think is a gift. Even being able to be creative is a gift. And anything where we're going from thought into action, bringing something into the world of form, that's a great, immense power that we tend to take for granted. And we tend not to see it as a power. We tend to just see it as something that we do. Oh, I just did that. Or I just wrote that. Or I just created that. And we don't really seem to see it as a gift so much anymore. And, when we don't recognize it as a gift, we tend not to use it. We tend to take it for granted. We don't see it for the power and the magic that it is and the gift that it is. And it tends to go unutilized in our lives. So then when people start talking about manifestation and you can create anything you want in the world, people tend to go, don't really believe that's possible. And it's our minds that limit the potentiality of actually what we're actually capable of. So I kind of got to this point where I was looking at this subject, and then I had a very special moment. And so I'm going to talk about that next and how that really transformed my understanding of life as a gift. So I was sitting writing at my desk, and actually it wasn't really a desk, it was a coffee table. And on the coffee table, there was a piece of paper with some typed words on it from something else I was doing, and I just had this moment where I had a glimpse, and I had been attempting prior to starting this subject to be writing about. I had been attempting to sort of delve into what oneness actually felt like. People talk about oneness and they say, "Oh, I felt oneness," but really, did you? I'm always very skeptical of people who say it, because to me, the idea of oneness is really a deep and profound experience that if you were to experience it, it wouldn't be something that you just went, "Oh, yeah, I experienced oneness. Let's all talk about something else, another conversation. Let's move on." Yeah, it's just oneness. I genuinely believe that if you feel it, it would be something that would be life-changing. So I've been contemplating this alongside life is a gift. And in this one moment, I did have an experience of oneness. It was a glimpse. It was very, very short-lived, and it was very beautiful, and it was very profound, and that's what I want to share with you. So I sort of was writing about life as a gift. And I looked out at the paper in front of me, and I suddenly saw it with really different eyes. I saw it with such a deep sense of gratitude for the paper, for the tree that created the paper, for the mind that created the words, for the ink that was able to print it, for the machine that printed it, and everything around that piece of paper with words and a printout on. Now, this is how I tend to teach gratitude anyway. So this is something that I was familiar with. The understanding of what true gratitude is really how it connects you to so much in the whole web of life. But the experience of it this time was different, because it wasn't coming from me, Sharon, the I personality of Sharon. It was coming from somewhere else. And so I want to read you a little bit. I'm going to read from my journal to explain it a bit more. So deep from within me, there was a sensation I had not experienced before. The gratitude for these objects, the things in my experience, was not from me, but it was from the source of all things. And this gratitude was for the contribution that all of these seemingly small things were contributing, how they were contributing to life itself. So there was no hierarchy of gratitude from the source. There was just pure gratitude that everything in my awareness was combined to create an experience for the divine. And nothing held a station higher or lower. There was no hierarchy. The expression of gratitude was just pure gratitude across the board in inequality. And for the very first time, I could tap into the gratitude from source, not from me, not from Sharon, not from not for the things in my personal experience, but from the perspective of the divine, that all of these things had sacrificed, given themselves, expressed themselves, all for the contribution, so that the divine could understand life better, could experience life in a greater form. And in that moment, I realized that life is not just a gift to me. That's how I had been viewing it. Life is a gift to us humans. Life is a gift to me. But actually, that we, everything in life is a gift to the divine. So it wasn't just me. This is just the example I'll give, but it wasn't just me. It's obviously everybody and everything in life, including all of life. But it wasn't just me. It was my every thought, my every object in my experience, every sensory experience, every feeling, every dead end I went down, every success I had was all just learning. It was learning for the divine. And it was the very first time in my life that I'd ever recognized the reciprocal gift of life. And, I sort of started to think, well, from a human perspective, the air is a gift. The sun is a gift. Without the sun, there would be no life on Earth. We can't live on anything if there is no Earth. We can't live without water. We need water to survive. So all of these things I had already sort of acknowledged was a gift to life, to humans. It provides life for us. It gives us the experience of life. And I was like, wow. It's when you start to see it not as something taken for granted, but something to be of deep gratitude. Like it's breathtaking in the vastness of what life exists on this earth. And it's there to inspire us and create awe in us and offer beauty and magnificence and makes us question, ask the big questions in life. And even the temporal nature of life, meaning that, all things that live eventually die in this incarnation, even that is a gift because it provides us with a kind of momentum for us to experience all that life has to offer. People create bucket lists near the end of their lives. I mean, I created a bucket list quite early on in my life, but people create bucket lists in life when they know that time is short, when they start to believe time is short. Do you not notice how people sometimes become more mellow in old age, or how people change how they feel about things? Maybe they start to think of all the things they haven't experienced in life. So this time urgency that we only have a short amount of life to live, and that we should experience all that we want to, learn all we want to, that is a gift as well. We tend to think as humans that death is a punishment, but it's a gift. If we had eternity to do everything, there would be no momentum to do anything. So, and like I said before, we go from baby to teenager to adult to older age, our bodies transform, our bodies change. Why would they even bother to change? Because we have it gives us a different experience of life. So those are gifts as well. We tend to judge them, and this is one of the things that was really beautiful. It's like, why do we judge them? They're just different experiences of life, you know. Why is one better than another? Like, if you ask me, would I like to go back to when I was 20? I'm 50 now. No, not for all the money in the world. I didn't have a clue what life was all about then. And yet people pine for like a younger version of themselves. And I certainly have never pined for that. But we have these amazing gifts that we have given, and all we seem to do as humans is judge them instead. You know, we've got an amazing ability to dream a better world for ourselves, better things for ourselves, more kindness. We've got all this ability within ourselves: compassion, love, peace, joy. These are all our essence states and our natural ways of being, which are God characteristics. And yet, we tend not to even utilize this power. Our minds tend to tell us that they're not really that possible, or they're not even that desirable. And so we limit ourselves and we limit the gift that has been given. We've been given a great power, and yet we don't seem to want to utilize it because our minds say, nah, it's just not possible. And so I had this really amazing feeling of the reciprocity that all of these things have been given to us. And if we stop judging it and we just allowed the experience of it, we allowed ourselves to be the powerful beings that we were, then we would get quite a lot more out of life. You know, we have this short lifespan. So, you know, we understand that we go from a seed and then we grow and then we flower, we bloom, and then we die, right? And so the part of the experience that was really unbelievably life-changing for me was the recognition that I'm the gift too. Everything that I go through is a gift to the divine. Everything that we do as humans, good, bad, and ugly, is a learning. It helps to us to understand society, helps us to understand what's possible, what's not possible. It helps us to move forward evolutionarily into, you know, hopefully, the dream is hopefully something better. We tend to keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Don't know about you, but I find that deeply frustrating. But we have this ability to make wondrous change within ourselves, and it comes with choice. So, but I'd never really truly experienced it from the point of view of the divine, how the divine sees us with such gratitude, looks at us with such gratitude and love for everything we go through in the experience of life, in order to provide an understanding, provide experience. And in this one moment, I had this recognition of what it felt like to be both the creator and the creation, the gift and the gift giver. And this was the profound revelation for me, was that's the end of duality, when you start to recognize and truly realize that you are both. To realize you are both the creator and the creation, the gift giver and the gift. And therefore we take out this duality of life and we just see all of life as a gift in its entirety. And I wrote this sentence right at the end of this, which I've sort of got as my own personal mantra now, and that is: gratitude is God, and God is gratitude. God is love. And I ended it with that, and I will end it there with you guys too. I hope this has been helpful to sort of frame not only gratitude, but to also frame the subject of life is a gift in a more in greater relation to oneness, to this idea of the recognition that we are both creator and creation, because it's a really beautiful feeling. And let me know what you think. Add comments below.